Well, everybody, that didn't last long. If you've been following along with my saga here, I've been trying to find a home for these two smaller angelfish, the one on the far left that you can see now, and then the one on the far right that's down in the sort of the bottom corner, and you can kind of see why they're down in the corner. I put them in here yesterday, and the angelfish that had been in this tank, the big male there that you see being aggressive, was doing just this. He was being very aggressive with the two new angelfish, so I made the desperate attempt of putting the angelfish in my black ghost knifefish tank, despite the fact that there's tiger barbs in that tank. And as you might expect, the tiger barbs began to get nippy, and this fish started undergoing some damage, and so I removed him and put him back in this tank, hoping that disrupting his dominance in this tank might actually sort of disrupt this kind of behavior. That's something that you can do. It's an option. A lot of times if a fish is in a tank and he's an established dominant fish, if you actually move them to a different tank for a while, or sometimes you can even just rearrange the decor in the tank, really radically change the feel of the tank, and that's enough to disrupt the fish as far as it feeling as though it's his tank. So I was hoping that maybe a night over in the other tank, especially a night in a tank where he was no longer the dominant fish in the tank, I was hoping that might take a little bit of the wind out of his sails and he'd be a little more relaxed when he got back in this tank. And he's been in here for maybe 10 minutes and he's already settled right back into driving these two down into the corner. You can see how it's pretty much just relentless. And eventually these two smaller ones would just be harassed and beaten to death. So they've got to go. I've got to put them somewhere. Excuse me. I do have a 10-gallon tank upstairs that I can keep them in, and I know a 10-gallon tank for angelfish sounds pretty bad, but the tank I kept them in was a 20 long. So height-wise, it's the same size tank. You know, a 10-gallon tank is no taller or shorter than a 20 long. The 20 long is just about 6 inches longer or wider, depending on how you want to look at that, than the 10-gallon tank. And these fish don't need a lot of swimming back and forth room. The only thing you've really got to be concerned with angelfish, or the chief thing you need to be concerned with, is the up and down room. If their fins are dragging on the bottom, that's not good for them. It can actually wear their fins out and open, sores, and it opens them up for infection and everything else. So it's not good to keep them in a tank where their fins have to drag the bottom. But these two angelfish are fairly small, and they did well in my 20 long. I really liked them in that tank. They looked great in there. I'm just breaking that tank down because I'm doing some different stuff at that end of the room. I'm going to try to get a bigger tank to replace the smaller ones I have. And in the meantime, these fish need to go somewhere else. So I think they're going to wind up in the 10-gallon tank upstairs in my office. And that's where they're going to have to spend their days. So I'm going to get going and go upstairs and do a water change, clean that tank up a little bit and prepare it for them. And then we will do some video maybe tomorrow of the fish once they're in the new tank, and we'll see how they look, although they're probably going to look a little bit cramped. So make sure you're subscribed, that way you won't miss any of the updates. I still got a lot of stuff being rearranged. I've got that new tank coming, hopefully, if I can find one and afford it. So that'll be fun. And anything else I might have coming up, you don't want to miss either. So if you're subscribed, you won't miss any of it. So thanks for watching this one. See you real soon on the next one.